Hey, what is up, mortals? It is President Leon here, and before we get into the video, there are a few things I'd like to say. Firstly, thank you, Honey, for sponsoring the video, and secondly, a quick thank you to supporters on Patreon. The full list will be at the end of the video. If you'd like to support us in our content, please go over there and check it out. Honey is a free browser add-on available on Google, Opera, Firefox, Safari, and if it's a browser, it has Honey. All you have to do is when you're checking out one of those major sites, just click that little orange button and it'll scan the entire internet to find discount codes for you. They can normally save you between 2 and 15%, and trust me, that adds up. There's literally no reason not to install Honey. It takes 2 clicks. Oh, and did we mention it's free? Over 10 million people use it and it has 100,000 5-star reviews. So, if you'd like to start saving money now, go to the link in the description and install Honey. Also, with that out of the way, this deep dive contains spoilers for the movie Two Heroes. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Our story starts not very long after Quirk started to show up. One for All started to build his criminal empire. Although he had a brother that didn't agree with the fact that he was using his power for good, instead using it to spread his influence and gain more power. All for One wanted his brother to work with him, but when he would not submit to willingly joining him, he forcibly gave him a power, a quirk that stockpiled power. But unknown to everyone, the brother had a quirk that could pass on quirks, and it combined with the stockpile quirk, creating One for All. One for All was passed down through the generations, all the while the quirk got stronger and stronger, where it could one day be strong enough to take down All for One. We don't know anything about the users until Nana Shimura, the 6th inheritor of One for All. We don't know very much about her. What we do know, however, is that she had a quirk before gaining One for All. As well as that, she had a kid, but she put him into foster system. This was to keep him away from all users' sworn enemy, One for All. Side note, her grandson, Tomura Shigaraki, eventually became the apprentice of One for All, and head of the League of Villains. Nana eventually found a successor, Toshinori Yagi, eventually known as All Might, the symbol of peace. He was able to use One for All to its full capabilities without any backlash. She passed on One for All to him, but she died in a battle against All for One, unable to see all the good Toshinori would do as All Might. Toshinori, after losing his master, moved to America to gain more hero experience and finished his schooling away from All for One. He eventually met David Shield, who helped him with his costumes as well as any gadgets needed in his escapades, and hero work sort of alike to a techno sidekick. In the esque of Batman's Oracle, he stayed in America honing his hero skills for an unknown amount of time. Fans have guessed this time was between 5 to 15 years, but we don't know how long he was actually there for, nor any big things that might have happened to him there. All we know is that he met David there and he went to another hero school for a little while. After his time in America, where All Might gained experience, he returned to Japan. He then started his own hero agency, and only after some time gained his first and only sidekick, Mirai Sasaki, also known as Sir Night-Eye. The whole time All Might was in Japan, he slowly took down One for All's criminal empire, one piece at a time, with the help of Night-Eye's quirk Foresight, which may be explained on another day. Eventually, this took the attention of All for One. All Might and All for One eventually had a confrontation where All Might's respiratory system was severely damaged and All for One was nearly killed. After this, All Might was told by his sidekick that he would eventually die if he didn't stop being a hero. He didn't listen to him and kept being a hero, of course. However, he was only able to power up for a matter of hours because of all the damage done to his body. All Might officially gained the title of Symbol of Peace after this, and with his mere presence, the crime rate in Japan became the lowest on the planet. All Might was a symbol of peace for years, inspiring hope throughout the world. All the while he was doing this, he was looking for someone to pass All for One onto. This search took him 5 years, where then he found Izuku Midoriya, a quirkless boy who wanted to be a hero. This is of course the start of the entire series. Midoriya initially met All Might by chance, being saved by him, but after a villain attacked him. Learning All Might's secret that he could only be a hero for a limited amount of time, and having his dreams crushed by All Might, he started to go home, but instead drifted towards a villain attack. He saw the same villain that attacked him before, and jumped in to help the boy trapped by the villain. This lit a spark in All Might, pushing himself past his limits to save Midoriya and the boy Bakugo, who was in trouble. Later on, he found Midoriya and offered him his quirk, and Midoriya happily accepted. Midoriya went through 10 months of training to get his body in shape to be able to handle the quirk's immense strength. After 10 months of training, Midoriya received the quirk before heading to his entrance exam to the best hero school, UA. We eventually learned that after giving the quirk to Midoriya, All Might would eventually lose One for All. Midoriya didn't use the power until he saw a girl in trouble and jumped into the fray, destroying the robot that was about to hurt her a lot, or even possibly kill her. The downside was that unlike All Might, who could use 100% of the quirk, he couldn't, instead breaking both his legs and an arm in the process, only surviving because the girl saved him in the end. Midoriya made it into UA, where he learned some control over One for All, being able to, instead of breaking his whole arms and legs, he could narrow it down to his fingers. This came from the pressure his homeroom teacher gave, which was threatening expulsion to whoever got the lowest score on a physical exam. Midoriya tried to gain more control over his new quirk, gaining experience from various instances like training exercises against his classmates where they went against heroes or villains, the USJ incident where his class was attacked by the League of Villains who were assembled via the now broken All for One, or the sports festival where he was able to control the power without breaking his limbs. During the sports festival, we also saw the past users somehow give him a hand, getting out of another student's mind control quirk, showing that the power is some kind of sentience with its previous users. These events all helped him move forward, but the most that helped him was his week-long internship with All Might's old mentor, Sorahiko Torino, also known as Gran Torino. Torino helped Midoriya learn to spread the power throughout his body, making it so he could officially use the power well when weakening the amount used. This increased his general speed and his reaction time. Because of this upgrade, he was later able to help his classmates take out the hero killer Stain. After this, Midoriya kept moving forwards, practicing the amount of power he could use in his new style to master it for his own. He dubbed his new style of using the quirk Full Cowling. He can only use 5% of the quirk's power at a time without causing any physical damage to himself. Midoriya eventually, during the summer, went with All Might to Island, where he met All Might's old friend David Shield and his daughter Melissa Shield. Midoriya became quick friends with Melissa, meeting up with some other friends that were on Island. Afterwards, Melissa gave Midoriya a gauntlet that would let him use 100% of his power at least 3 to 4 times. They then went to a fancy dinner, but before they could, the island was taken over, and they even held All Might captive. Midoriya and the others went on a mission to free everyone with the aid of his friends and Melissa's gauntlet. They fought the villains who were holding the island hostage, freeing All Might in the process. They did this not before learning that this was all a plan by David Shield. He wanted to steal an old machine of his that would help All Might with his depleting quirk. David was double-crossed by the people he hired to take over the island, and the machine was taken by the goons. Although, before the goons could get away, they were stopped by the combined might of All Might, Midoriya, and his fellow students of 1A. Midoriya also broke the gauntlet given to him by Melissa. Again, this was not before we learned that there was a double-cross all planned by All for One. After this, they all went back to Japan to their summer training camp. Midoriya tried to train his body, but had to put hold on those plans because the camp was attacked by the League of Villains once again. In this attack, Midoriya had to use 100% of One for All, going the most out on a fight he has ever done before. After protecting Kota and defeating a villain, he went and took down a couple more villains with his classmates, although one took his friend Bakugo and most of the villains got away in the end. Midoriya was later told after the fact that if he threw punches like that again, he could lose the ability to have function in his arms. Being so distraught about Bakugo being taken, Midoriya, as well as some of his classmates, went to rescue him against Avai's directions. They got close to the area right outside the factory where they thought he was, but didn't see Bakugo, instead finding some of All for One's minions. Before they could leave, however, All for One detonates explosives in one of the buildings and teleports Bakugo back to the location, where he then tries to get away, but is then stopped by the other villains. Midoriya comes up with an idea to save him. They proceed to launch a couple of the students into the air, and once grabbing him, run away. After this, All Might also lost what little remained of One for All officially retiring, ending the era of the symbol of peace, but capturing All for One in the process. That's all the story and increasing of power we will go over, at least for now. We'll go over more of the abilities of One For All, which gives the users the ability to pass on the power, superhuman speed, reflexes, strength, and it seems that the power has some sort of sentience shown during the sports festival. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now there's a few more things I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, I would like to thank our $5 plus Patreon supporters for helping to fund these videos. Lastly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer for this video as well as the editor for this video. Their details will be in the description. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or you're just interested in becoming one of those things, go to the Discord that's in the description of the video and hit up the head of one of those areas. We're always looking for more members to join us. That's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit that like button if you like the video. Until next time, peace out mortals, have an amazing day.